fast-growing social media star who has one of the most efficient content creation processes I've encountered. He shares some wonderfully valuable lessons. I'm excited for this one. Let's get started. Hi there, welcome back to the Grow with Cara show. Today we continue our interview series with successful attorney marketers. We're taking a close look at what's working, what's not working so well, the specific steps these attorneys took to get to where they are. And remember, these are simple steps that you too can follow to get on a similar path to growth. Okay, let's get right to it like we always do. Today, our special guest is attorney Zayed Zayed. Zayed is the founding partner of the law office of Zayed Zayed, a rapidly growing personal injury, criminal defense, and immigration firm in Phoenix. He was named one of the National Trial Lawyers' top 40 under 40 attorneys. We're excited to have him here today. Welcome, Zayed. Thanks for joining us.
Cara, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, so I'm excited to dive in, but to begin, tell us a little bit about your story, your background. Why did you launch the firm?
Honestly, 2013, I graduated December of 2012 from law school. It was the time where the economy had crashed. Things were bad. I think I passed the bar in February 2013. I got licensed in May. And it was one of those things where I was thinking to myself, do I want to go and work for somebody and, the pay wasn't good. There wasn't a lot of jobs out there. It was tough. It was just a really tough market. So just having this entrepreneurial mind, and that's, how my family, just being Middle Eastern, that's just how we are. And my father was a business owner. His father was a business owner. So I thought to myself, let me just hang a shingle and see where it goes. And May 2013, I got sworn in by the Arizona Supreme Court as a lawyer. I then, from there, I was in downtown Phoenix. I drove to the Arizona Corporation Commission where I filed the paperwork for my LLC.
Wow.
And that's the story. It's how it started.
Wow, that's great. Let's talk about those early days. How were you bringing in clients initially, right after you launched?
So someone once told me, all you need is a phone number and just, tell people you're a lawyer. I've been in Phoenix, Arizona my whole life. I know a lot of people. And at that point, I just started going around telling people I was a lawyer, asking them if I can help them. My father being a business owner, I knew a lot of his friends who were business owners. So that first year, if you wanted me to review a contract for you, if you wanted me to draft a will for you, I was doing whatever I can. I had a little office, a laptop, and my cell phone. Whatever I could get done, I was going to get done.
I love it. Pounding the pavement and getting the word out. Yeah, I love it. So now, what types of cases is the firm primarily handling? Give us an idea of case volume.
For sure. So case volume right now, probably, our criminal defense practice, we are dwindling that down a little bit at this time. We're trying to focus really all of our resources more into personal injury and immigration. But right now, we keep, like I said, a small amount of criminal defense cases, primarily personal injury. We keep about 150, 160 active cases. And then immigration, 300 to 400.
How big is the team? Attorneys, support staff?
Okay, so I am the only attorney, and then I got my support staff of 9 people.
Nice. That's great.
Yeah.
At what percentage pace is the firm currently growing?
To put a number on it, I don't know. That's one of the things, right? Everyone's all about numbers, ROI, and you have to have your metrics, your KPIs, right? I'm a believer in taking it step by step. So people ask me, what's your ultimate goal? I don't have an ultimate goal. I can tell you what my next step is. I can tell you where I want to be in a year. I just look at it as a staircase. I know there may be an end, there may not be an end. I just want to, every month, every year, every couple of years, I just want to move up a step.
That's a smart approach, right? It becomes much more feasible, kind of those shorter term goals. It's easier to kind of grasp what's right in front of you. I understand that. You obviously are growing though. So what is fueling that growth now? How are you marketing the firm?
So from a growth perspective, just to give you an example, over the last, maybe if we were talking about 5 years ago, we would probably settle, I don't know, maybe $1 to $2 million in personal injury cases. Last year we did 4 million. This year we're on our way to probably doing 6 to 7 million. in personal injury cases, settlements wise. So really what's fueling it, I think, is we're just getting better in our case selection.
Hmm.
And we are getting a lot more leads. And I think a lot of those leads are just because we're putting ourselves out there.
Hmm.
I really doubled down on personal injury in the last probably 5 years. I want to focus on that. I know we're good at it, and that's the first thing, right? You got to be confident in your skill set. We know we're good at it. We know we're willing to fight for our clients, but really we just need the clients to know that we're here and what we're willing to do for them. So that's where a lot of my stuff is going into the social media.
Yep. So you're getting more leads. Those leads are coming primarily from social media.
You know, it's
I want to put
interesting
words
with
in your
social
mouth,
media.
but yeah.
Yeah, so it's interesting with social media. So a lot of my leads here are word of mouth.
Mhm.
And through word of mouth, so me being Arabic Middle Eastern, I speak fluent Arabic. I have team members who speak fluent Arabic. Phoenix is a rapidly growing city, and we have a huge population, a huge Middle Eastern population, and a lot of people who have only been in the country 5 years, 10 years. So, you know, even though they may speak English, it's just not it's not their primary language.
Sure, yeah.
So we get a lot of people who want an Arabic speaking lawyer, and we resonate. And, you know, language brings people together, right? Culture brings people together. So from there, you know, if you help a few people, word of mouth. So word of mouth is really what fuels everything. But then with the social media, what we've been doing is we've been really targeting a lot of these the Facebook groups.
Ah,
Facebook groups are great,
hmm.
especially for niche communities.
Yeah.
So I think that's what's really been helping us a lot.
Yeah. So we're going to get into kind of the specifics of what you're doing on social media because I love the content. Let's talk a little bit more about these Facebook groups. How are you finding them? What are you contributing to these Facebook groups? How is the conversation kind of, fueling that word of mouth that you talk about?
So really from the Facebook groups, I mean, you know, a few people would invite me to it, or if there's, you know, a community member here, somebody at, at the church, at the mosque, at the cultural center, they'd be like, hey, you should probably join this Facebook group. It's got 10,000 people in it. Cool. All right. Send me an invite. I'm in.
Right.
And what I'll do is I'll just post some of my relevant videos in there, especially my Arabic speaking ones,
Mhm.
right? Where I'm doing them in Arabic. I'll post them in there, just give people advice on what to do in case of a car accident, what to do if you're pulled over by the police. And then what I'm doing is just specific Facebook targeted ads on people, on people that are what is it called? The alike groups, right?
Yeah, the lookalike
The
audience.
lookalike, there
Yeah.
you go, yeah.
Yep, that's smart. So about how much are you spending? Is it a pretty big budget for that social media, those Facebook ads, or what are you spending there?
Facebook ads no more than 500 a month.
Nice. So
Yeah.
I assume that's worth you're getting that return in business,
Oh, for sure. Because
Yeah.
what we're doing is it's a little picture with, you know, some Arabic words on it, and it just says, you know, personal injury attorney, Arizona, my name, my phone number, and we just have them on repeat. And, you know, it's all about exposure, right? People
Yeah.
are always on Facebook, and I just want them to see the ads all the time. So God forbid they get into an accident. They have a family member who gets in an accident. They're like, oh my God, I know this guy. Yes, call this guy.
Top of mind.
Yeah, that's it.
A piece of that puzzle that you're talking about. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's important. So let's talk a little bit more about social media. You're very active. You have an impressive following. You're at the Z Lawyer on both Instagram and TikTok. Instagram, it looks like you have about 106,000 followers. TikTok, you have 337 followers, 2.8 million likes. So what you're doing is really resonating. But tell us about your start on social media. How did you get into it initially?
Social media, I think like a lot of attorneys, it was COVID.
Yeah.
COVID hit, right? March 2020, everything shut down.
What are we gonna do?
I know. What are we gonna do?
Yeah.
And then we all started discovering TikTok.
Yeah.
I mean, I know TikTok was around in 2019, but then it really just blew up in 2020 with the dances and all that silly stuff.
Right.
So I got on TikTok. And, you know, April 2020, I was bored. I was doing some of the fun stuff on TikTok. And I think, was it in June or July? Then I start following. I really just got deep into the social media stuff and the lawyers on social media. And I followed Ali Awad, CE lawyer. And, you know, He is the inspiration, I think, to every social media lawyer because of what he did. And he was one of the primary founders of it, and just kind of really took it and went 100 miles an hour with it.
Right.
And I think there was a video he put out once, and I told him this when I went to the CEO lawyer conference, and he said something. He said, "Look, lawyers, all you have to do, I challenge you, do 100 videos a year. That's all. 100 videos a year. Post it and see what happens, right? It's going to take time. You can build your following. It takes time." So he said that. And I think it was in 2021, I remember. And I did that. I thought, okay, that's 10 videos a month. Let me just commit to 10 videos a month. And that's what I've been doing ever since. And the following just grew.
That's cool. I mean, that's so manageable, right? Because I think you hit on a very specific obstacle. Some attorneys think, well, I don't have time for this. You know, I have pressing client matters. How am I going to produce, you know, content over content over content? But when you put it like that, it seems very manageable, though you have to set that expectation that this is a longer term play, right? It's not, leads aren't going to come running through your door the second you post a video, right?
For sure. And I think that's what happens with a lot of people is they get discouraged because they post a video, they post a second one, the third one, they're like, well, I only got 5 likes. I only got 2 comments.
Right.
And that's okay. I mean, you can have 100,000 followers and you put a video and you only get 2,000 views. I have flops all the time, and it is what it is. Move on to the next.
Yep. I think that's great advice. So you started on TikTok and then moved to Instagram, or how did that work?
I think it was like simultaneous.
Okay.
I think it was like I was on TikTok, and then I was, obviously I had my personal Instagram. I knew what Instagram was, but then that's when, I created the business one and created the brand, the Z Lawyer, and
Yep.
it worked.
And were you instantly comfortable in front of the camera, or was that something that you kind of had to get used to?
No, I've been comfortable in front of the camera.
Yeah.
I used to do theater back in high school.
Oh yeah, I can tell. You seem very confident in front of the camera. That's great. And when did follower growth kind of really ramp up for you? Did it seem like, and also kind of the second part of that question is, how have your topics kind of evolved over, seeing kind of what resonates and then what you're doing more of?
Okay, so first question was, when did my followers kind of evolve or kind of grow?
Up, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Man, I don't know. You know what? There was a moment, I think it was last year, 2023, 2022. Sometime last year, I posted this video. I was like 8,000 followers. This is Instagram. And I'm thinking to myself, come on, I really want that 10K, get all those features. Like it's a milestone.
Right.
And I posted a video in Arabic. And it was my first Arabic video. And it was about if you're pulled over by the police, what to do. Mm-hmm. And it was what to do if you're pulled over by the police. And what's interesting is I said it in Arabic. I said that this applies to America and the laws in America.
Right.
But somehow, some way, my video went overseas. Oh. And I got a lot of followers from there. So all of a sudden, this video started getting a lot of views. Oh. And within a day, I go from like 7,000 to 8,000 to 10,000. Then a couple days later, I go to 12,000. And then within a week, I think I hit 25,000 followers.
Whoa.
Yeah, within a week. It was insane.
Yeah, that's impressive.
So that was one of the moments where I knew that my content strategy needed to change. That's when I told myself, okay, I really need to double down on the Arabic content. And the reason for it is because from there, sure, I got people, followers in the Middle East, and living in the Middle East, they are not going to be leads to here, direct leads. Mm-hmm. But what I've learned over the last year is a lot of them share my videos. So they'll see it, let's say in the country of Jordan or in Saudi Arabia. They'll share it with a family member here in the United States, saying like, hey, this is an American lawyer. Do you know him? And they're like, well, and then there's this conversation. They're like, well, no, I live in New Jersey. He's in Arizona, different states. America's big. It doesn't work that way. Right. But then they follow me.
Nice.
And then I've learned that it develops leads for me because I get a lot of DMs where people say, I had an accident. I'm in New Jersey. I had an accident. I'm in Chicago. Mm-hmm. And then in the last year, build that network, the referral network. And I've gotten to know a lot of lawyers across the country. Yes. And if you need a lawyer somewhere, now even if I can't take your case, I can pass you off to somebody who I know can help you and is going to take care of you.
Excellent, excellent. Yes, that's the other beautiful part of social media, right? Is building that referral network. Instagram, TikTok, they're obviously national, global platforms, of course, but you're sort of referring those out-of-state social leads, and that's how you're kind of building that network. Yeah, I love it. So tell me about. I'm interested in kind of topics, kind of your current process. So where do you find inspiration for those new videos now that you're posting?
So it's difficult, right? It's difficult coming up with topics. Some of it from time to time, I'll go back to the stuff that I made videos about 18 months ago. And it's a topic. I mean, how many times can you say get underinsured coverage, right? But you have to constantly remind people of it. So I'll go back to an old video that I did or an old topic I did, and I'll just try to revamp it somehow. But a lot of it, honestly, these days is I just tell my staff, hey, if you encounter a new issue or you encounter something where you're talking to a client and a client's very interested or asking these questions that you never really thought of, but we're explaining it to the client, just shoot me an email. Tell me that it's a topic. And we just have this ongoing list, a Google sheet really of all these topics. And we just go off of that. I mean, really for me now, it's on a Saturday morning before we shoot, I'll sit for an hour. I will come up with a single, like a thesis statement, like this is the topic and this is what we're going to talk about. Come up and I do my own scripts.
Okay.
So yeah, so I'll write it up. The whole process takes me an hour to come up with the idea, write it. And then my team comes in who shoots the video with me, and we shoot once a month. We do all 10 videos at once.
Wow. Okay. Nice.
Yeah. And it's funny because when we started, it would take us 4 to 5 hours to do 10 videos.
I bet. Yeah.
Now we're knocking 10 videos in like an hour and a half.
That's cool. That's cool. So you have the topics, you're scripting it out. Are you using a teleprompter to deliver? No teleprompter.
No, it's a script. It's essentially scripted out just for me as an outline. But I mean, writing it out helps. But then right before we shoot, right before he says action, I look at it, I read it, put it down. He says action, we run through it.
I love it. So you're just dedicating 1 hour a month basically to this process. You have a team, or do you have one videographer? How many people are dedicated to it?
It's just one videographer.
Nice. And is that person doing the editing and the posting? Are you doing the posting?
No, so I do the posting.
Okay, yeah. See, I always like to get into these details because sometimes you don't need these like massive budgets and these massive teams, high production value. I mean, it can be, are you shooting on your phone or are you using special equipment?
No, so my videographer, he has his equipment, he has everything that he brings in. And like I said, he comes in, we coordinate a Saturday morning or a Saturday evening, whatever it is. We shoot, we sit, talk about the topic, shoot the whole process. I mean, really, like I said to you, it's from sitting down to writing the topic until we're done shooting and him and I just, shooting, just talking and screwing around. It's a 3 hour. It's a whole thing's like a 3 hour thing.
Yeah, that's great.
And then he takes it, he edits it, sends it all over to me. I put it all on my phone. And then honestly, I just, every morning right before while I'm working out, I have a schedule. I know what videos I want to post. As I'm working out, click, you post it and you're done.
Same videos to TikTok and Instagram?
So I have a schedule.
Okay.
I do a video on Tuesday. So the Tuesday video that goes on TikTok goes on Instagram on Wednesday.
Nice. Yeah.
And then there's a schedule.
Smart. And are you boosting any of these posts? Are you putting any money behind any of these videos? Nope, it's all organic. This has been all organic growth.
All organic.
That's really impressive. Have you ever considered boosting, or is it just not something that you think is necessary?
I thought about it. I think what I want to do, if I'm going to boost, I don't think it's going to be a video. I'm going to start out with maybe like little images or like, image ads, something like that versus a video. Yeah. I haven't messed with boosting enough yet.
Yeah. Are you posting to your story as well, or primarily just to the primary grid?
Honestly, it just really depends on if I have time. So I'll post everything to the primary grid, obviously, but then, if it's a funny video, if it's something really cool, I'll post it to the story as well. Sometimes I don't post it to the story. It's just really depends.
Yeah. What do you feel about kind of the news jacking? I saw some of the, topics that are kind of more timely. Do those seem to perform better for you, or is it more of kind of the frequently asked question content that seems to get the traction?
on Instagram, so I did a little bit of that stuff. I don't do it anymore. It's really hard because at that point it's like I have to drop everything I'm doing, do it myself, right? Get my phone myself, set it up, or have one of my staff members who is not a videographer, it's a legal assistant or a paralegal, to film me talking about it. And that's hard.
Yep.
And I just I don't like to kind of come off my routine. Yep. I found that it drives a lot of traction on TikTok, worthless on Instagram. Didn't do well for me on Instagram, that kind of stuff. But on TikTok, I feel like people just love news, love stuff, you know, the hot topics right away.
Right.
It's a different audience.
It is. It is. Yeah. So are you finding the quality to be higher on Instagram in general? Or is that not necessarily the case?
No, both are equal. Good. I've honestly gotten some of my best cases from TikTok.
Great.
Some of my worst cases are not, you know, there's no worst case, right? They're all great cases. Right. Just I'm talking about like value wise. Right. Gotten both from TikTok, gotten both from Instagram, both types.
How much time are you spending engaging in comments? Are you actively sort of, you know, responding and spending that time engaging?
I do. Yeah. In the mornings, I will. In the evening, sometimes I'm putting my little one to sleep. I'll have a headphone in and I'm messaging and stuff and commenting back. And I don't know. I just like it. It's addicting in a way.
Yeah. Right. Well, I mean, it's really cool because I've kind of watched your videos evolve a bit, and you know, sometimes you'll be in a car, sometimes you'll be, you know, in an office, sometimes it'll be more of kind of a skit style. So, you know, I always try to encourage attorneys, you have to try some things until you figure out what is authentic and you know, comfortable for you, but also again, kind of what resonates, right? You may have never realized that, oh, I should be filming more videos in Arabic because that is actually working for me, right? So kind of finding that thing, I feel like is of critical importance. Would you agree?
Completely. I completely agree with that. And that's the thing, right? I feel like some lawyers are, you know, we were trained and we have this idea that we have to always be in a suit, look professional, speak professional, you know, do long form content where if I'm going to talk about underinsured motorist coverage, I have to explain it from A to Z. Have fun with it. Break the barrier. Times are changing. People are changing. The idea of lawyers, you know, getting your lawyer from the yellow pages, because that's what they did in the 90s, right? You look at the back of the yellow pages and it's a guy in a suit or a gal in a suit, whatever it is. That's not the case anymore. People are actually getting their lawyers from social media and they want different. They want someone that's going to humanize the industry to them. That's really what it comes down to.
Right.
And honestly, Cara, that's where I think a lot of traction I'm getting with the Arabic videos. Because the Middle East, it's a culture thing. Mm-hmm. They are not used to, I think they still have this idea that a lawyer, because over there in the Middle East, a lawyer, you're always going to see him in a suit, nice tie, nicely tied, you know, leather bag, very professional, right? The stereotypical idea of a lawyer. Yeah. Where I'm here, and I get some of the comments in Arabic, and I read and write Arabic. So I read these comments, and people are saying like, "Is this guy really a lawyer? There's no way. Like, is he acting like a lawyer?" I'm
wow.
Like, yeah, I'm a lawyer. You just go to my website. It's right there. You can click on my website, on my Instagram.
Wow. Yeah.
And people don't realize it. And I'm just trying to break that, right? Break that idea. And I hope it's working.
Yeah, it definitely is. And also too, sometimes these topics can be very basic. These don't need to be complicated issues that you're covering, right? Sometimes the most basic, or what seems like maybe even common sense to an attorney, right? That's what's really needed sometimes, right? Is just kind of breaking down those basics and not necessarily overcomplicating it with a 4-minute video, right?
Well, and that's the thing. It's basic to us because it's second nature, right? It's second nature. Accident happens, take photos. But 90% of my clients have never been in an accident, and that was their first accident. And they're like, I don't even know where to go. Some of them, I swear, will stop in the middle of the road and they're like, Zed, I just didn't know where to go. And then the person came and knocked on my window, said, hey, pull over. And they're just, it's a traumatic event to them.
Right.
So sometimes, yeah, the most basic thing, as something as basic as pull out your phone and just take a photo, doesn't come to mind, and you can't blame them.
Right. Good point. Having that empathy as well. Total, are you about what percentage of your revenue are you investing in marketing? It sounds like you're really leveraging free and low cost offerings. Is there anything that I'm missing? Are you doing any digital marketing, traditional TV, radio, billboards, anything like that?
So for immigration here, for my immigration part of my practice, we are a lot of immigration practice deals with Mexico and Central America. So what we do here is we do a lot of radio ads. So we have radio programs, we have radio ads. We're in some of the kind of the Hispanic magazines around town. But that's really about it. I mean, if I were to talk about my budget or percentage, I mean, probably less than 5%.
That's great. Very cool. Are you using AI in your practice, either for marketing or in your daily work?
I'm not, but I really, really want to. And that's what I'm spending my, when it's one of those nights with insomnia, I'm sitting on my computer and I'm trying to figure it all out. I'm trying to learn more about this chat GPT thing. I'm trying to, see what we can leverage, because seriously, it is going to be the future of law. It really is.
It's transformative, and there is just so much opportunity, and yeah, it's an exciting time for sure. So Zed, before we wrap up, I always like to ask, if a lawyer watching only has time to adopt maybe one or two of your tips, what would you recommend?
I know this sounds corny and cheesy, but I think it's the Nike slogan: just do it. Just do it. I swear, really. Don't overcomplicate this thing.
Right.
Don't overcomplicate. Like, I can't get in front of a camera and I can't do videos unless I have a team. In order to get a team, I got to buy a camera. And it's like this, $30,000 investment.
Right.
No, you don't need any of that. Some of these greatest content creators, doesn't have to be lawyers, but they're content creators, are doing with an iPhone.
Right.
And they got tons of followers. And just don't be fearful. Just do it. Just like, and I think I would just remind them, just like you got in, if you're a trial lawyer and you've gotten in front of your first jury and it was the scariest thing ever, you get over that fear. Just like in front of the camera, you end up getting over that fear.
Yeah, even if you're fumbling through those first dozen, 2 dozen, whatever, it will get better, right? It won't feel so strange.
And not just that, right? It can be edited, number one.
Yeah.
And number two, even if it's a bad video, it's just like a bad news cycle, right? By the next news cycle, it's gone. By the next 5 videos, people forgot about it anyways. No one scrolls down farther than 3 grids.
Good point. Good point. It is so fleeting. And that is definitely a hang up that I hear, is just what you said, right? Well, I don't want to have this out here forever. It needs to be this perfect commercial that, no ums, no ahs. It needs to just be, and when actually those videos tend to not perform as well, right? It's not, how are you distinguishing yourself? How are you building that trust? How are you really kind of showing your prospective clients what it would be like working with you if it's perfectly polished and it's not really you, right? So I agree.
And it happens all the time where my team, after editing and everything, the videos get sent to me and I'm looking through my videos, and then 1 out of the 10, I'm just like, I could have said that better, or I wasn't looking the right direction. And it's no big deal. I don't send it back. I don't tell them to re-edit it. I don't try to redo it. We're done. Move on. Post it and just move on. It's content. Just keep pushing content.
Yep. One last thing I want to revisit that you mentioned briefly about ROI. So that's another hang up I hear from attorneys is, well, how do I see that direct ROI from social media to new prospects? How do you kind of get, or what, I guess, what would you say to those attorneys who kind of don't think it's worth it, kind of spending the time, investing the time in social media because they don't quite understand how to get that ROI?
I'm going to assume that every attorney who has a law firm, when there's intake, when a phone call comes in, their person on the phone asks, how did you hear about us? Where'd you get our number? And you have a little box on your sheet, or, the intake form, word of mouth, billboard, TV ad, Facebook, Instagram. Just keep track of that, and you're going to see that you're going to get so much more calls because of that. And that's how I'm tracking it, right? I'm just tracking it based off of every month. The number of calls are increasing.
Right.
And when I'm looking at the reports internally here, I'm seeing that those leads are people who got our information from Facebook, got our information from Instagram or TikTok.
Yep. And there might be multiple checkboxes, right? Maybe they drive by your billboard and they follow you and they've heard you on the radio, also I think that's important too, that it is kind of a piece of this branding
Exactly, for
puzzle.
sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, Zed, thank you so much for sharing your experience today. It was a lot of fun and a real pleasure. Thank you
Thank
so
you for
much.
having me. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. I told you this was a good one, right? Here are the key takeaways I see. One, Facebook groups are a free client source. Zed isn't the first guest on my show to report that participating in groups has generated clients. But the key to success with this approach is taking a niche approach, right? So for Zed, that has been Arabic groups. For my past guest, Dunya Bazi, it was catastrophically injured. For Amber Galarmo, it has been entrepreneurs. Number two, building a referral network is smart. Many of the successful social marketers I've interviewed, including Zed, have assembled lists of attorneys around the nation who they can send the many out-of-state leads they receive from their social followings. The benefits of this approach can be materially increased if they focus on attorneys who also have large social followings. Of course, for them, the referrals will flow two ways. Number three, having a fixed output requirement actually works. So despite its simple wisdom, this is actually the first time I've heard an interviewee say that they have an actual goal number of monthly videos, let alone that they produce all those videos in one shoot. So that has been our approach actually that we take with our social media video subscribers that we provide, and it works. So our target for our subscribers is 16 videos from one monthly shoot. Zed's is 10. It works. Number four, a low production standard also works, right? Zed accepts all the edited videos, even if he's maybe not as happy with how he phrased something, how he looks. That's smart, for those are not the elements that determine a social video's success, right? I've heard from several of my guests, the same topic delivered with a low production quality outperforms the same topic provided in a polished, highly produced video. Number five, the team can help with topics, topic generation, topic creation idea, though that can be the toughest point sometimes, right? So opening your idea list to everyone on your team will increase the variety of your videos. And if you can get people outside of your office to contribute, even better. Enlist friends, family to help. Keep an open mind on what to accept. You really never know what approach, what topic category, delivery style, what will gain traction. So experimenting when getting started really is key. And lastly, number six, the end goal of social media is an overall marketing lift. Don't get hung up on attributing a direct ROI, a direct return on investment to your initial social marketing efforts. Social, like SEO, takes time to deliver results, and it's really a magnifier of your other channels, as much of it is really a direct source, right? So as Zed says, the best indicator of social results is whether all your calls are increasing, both those from social platforms and those calls from any other marketing source, okay? So I hope Zed's success has been inspirational, his lessons helpful. I know it was a lot of fun for me. Next week's interview is with a business and estates attorney who has dialed in her lead generation and service delivery so that she only has to work part-time to maintain a comfortable six-figure lifestyle. Okay, can't wait to see you back here. Take care, keep marketing.